So, hi there on this icy cold early winter day. It's wet and it snowed this week, and just a week ago these trees were still full of leaves, and then a week later it all changed. I'm sitting beneath a phenomenal tree. This is an oak tree. When the labyrinth was built, we made the middle of the labyrinth this tree without knowing that in this whole area here it was the only oak tree. Yes, it is a very special tree in the Celtic tradition. So the word door actually comes from the word tuor, that is the name for oak. In Celtic spirituality, they saw this as the door to the spiritual world where heaven and earth meet. So as we sit underneath this very special tree, let us open and ask this tree to teach us, as Jesus walked through the fields and asking the lilies to teach us and the birds in the sky, as nature invites us to the wisdom. So this tree is deeply rooted, planted. The interesting thing about the oak trees are that they are very deeply rooted, and they also have a taproot. And the taproot really makes a huge difference. You can just imagine, with all the winds and storms, it can really resist the storms and still stay standing. So I think that's why we started last week with our whole identity, and being reminded that we are deeply rooted in divinity, in love, in awareness, and this deep root system in which we find nourishment and strength and stability, that makes all the difference, although it's not something that we see. And if we go on living without being aware or reminding ourselves of this aspect of ourselves that's below the ground, that we do not see, it will really feel as if there are, when an emergency happens and there are issues, in those moments you will feel, oh, how can I survive it? Because all that I can see with my mind, with my eyes and with my heart is what is visible above the ground. But the wisdom of the oak tree this morning is that we are held and deeply safe and nourished, especially in the times of challenge and crisis. And as you know, a tree goes through all the seasons. It was spring, and it was summer, and it was fall, and now we are in early winter. And through all of these really challenging times, this tree could stand because of the deep nourishment from below. But there's a very crucial point that is the next step, because the previous week we became aware of our identity as more than just thoughts, emotions and our bodies. We are deeply held in love, in presence, in divinity. But now we try to live from that point. We see that everything changes, that there are seasons. Like this tree can tell you many stories of the seasons it went through, all the beautiful warm weather and lovely rains and the green chlorophyll in the leaves and flourishing and the beauty of fruit. But it can also tell you stories of harsh storms and battering winds and snow. And this tree knows that life is change. Impermanence is part of life, and even, yes, this tree will also come to an end and be again fall to the ground and become part of the earth from where it grew to be part of what it is already at the moment. And this concept of impermanence or change is something that we cognitively very easily can understand, and we can live from the point that we discuss it with someone. Yes, look at the change of the seasons. But when change happens to us, we feel like, no, we should be exempt. I should be exempt. And that's where mindfulness helps us to ingrain the acceptance of change and impermanence. And that makes all the difference. From this deep stability, if we can go through life with an embodied experience and acceptance of change, that is so crucial. Because when change happens, our minds doesn't have to jump into high gear trying to fix and work out now why did it happen, and our emotions get tagged along and our bodies get ill. And it's all from this idea or this preference that we have, that things should always go smoothly and things must go well. If I have a portfolio on the stock exchange, it must always go up. But when it goes down, then our brains go in high gear and try to figure out here and there and what and how are we going to handle this. But the interesting thing is, there's a beautiful formula that suffering equals pain times resistance. So yes, there will be suffering, there will be discomfort, there will be challenging times pain, because pain is part of life. There will be times of pain. But suffering will be much more the more resistance we have to the pain or to the unease. And that's how suffering in our lives can really become totally overwhelming. If we cannot be at ease and accept the fact that change will happen, that I will get ill and I will go through challenging emotions. But because we are deeply held in our roots, we can let those thoughts and emotions and bodily sensations be without the extra layer of suffering, of resistance, or clinging to the health, clinging to summer. Oh, I just want summer. The poor tree saying, oh, just imagine the tree saying, I just want eternal summer. I want eternal spring when the green leaves come out. And then if you cling to those, if you cling to the people around you as if they are the only sources of nourishment and joy and life, what happens then? If you cling, you will get rope burn. If a rope is being pulled through your hands that you cannot stop, what you will experience is that you get rope burn in your hands. And it's all because of the fact that we cannot accept and yield and surrender. Acceptance doesn't mean that I'm not going to do anything, or that means that I approve of everything that's happening. But it is accepting that this is the present moment. In this present moment, these are the things that I find challenging. This is the season that I'm in. And if we can be fully accepting of that with the grounding, we can wisely work through whatever happens. It's like playing soccer and the ball is down there and the goal is here, and my preference is to be that the ball must be in the goal, so I'm going to be at the goal. My preference is here, reality is here, and that distance between the two, that's the suffering. But if acceptance can be, okay, I accept the ball is now here. Let me fully accept it's not near to the goal, but I'm attending to the ball where it is. And that's really the invitation of acceptance. There's a deep, deep letting go. You can even just feel the difference when I use a word and I repeat this word and just get the feel how it reverberates in your body and in your emotions and thoughts. If I use the word no, 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 how does it make you feel if I say 7 times no for emotions or thoughts or situations? But yes, 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 yes. Can you get a totally different sense of it? and I want you to test it with little things. If you're in the traffic and you're stuck in the traffic, just test it for a while. Instead of fighting inner resistance and I don't want to be, and people are driving bad, and you're just creating this whole mind full of resistance, just test it for yourself. What happens when you just say yes? I'm just going to be just here, resting, taking this moment as it is, responding wisely to it, and know that I am deeply held, whatever the outcome is from whatever the traffic jam would have an impact on your life. And that's just traffic jam. It also comes in many other ways, in our emotions and thoughts. I really want to ask you just a few moments to maybe think of something that's not the most difficult thing in your life, but one of the challenges in your life. Yeah, I have something in my mind now. And in this moment, let's just relax into it. Let's just create space for it from a totally surrendering to the fact that we are held, we are grounded, and we just let go of this urge of the preference that things should be different now. For me, I feel a lightness suddenly letting go of what I have in my mind now. And with the out breath, I feel how the tension and the unease is flowing out of my body, and that there's a relaxation down to the cellular level. And that's just all because of this gift, the gift of mindfulness that helps us to accept with love, with compassion, but with full awareness. I want to read a poem for you now. Maybe you heard that sound just when I stood up. The bottom part of the chair broke, just to remind us of impermanence. Life is magical. Life is magical. So I got this poem from Dorothy Hunt. Peace is this moment without judgment. Do you think peace requires an end to war? Or tigers eating only vegetables? Does peace require an absence from your boss, your spouse, or yourself? Do you think peace will come some other place than here? Some other time than now? In some other heart than yours? Peace is this moment, like this moment, without judgment. That is all. This moment in the heart space where everything that is welcome. Peace is this moment without thinking. That should be some other way. That you should feel some other thing. That your life should be unfolding according to your plans. Peace is this moment without judgment. This moment in the heart space where everything that is is welcome. On Monday, we will practice this in our Monday mindfulness meditation. And if you want to follow the previous presentation and the previous mindful message, you can find the link below in the YouTube channel. But I do invite you, the problem that we have is that we can understand things cognitively, but we are invited to really ingrain, to embody it, so that it becomes part of our being, so that wherever we go and whatever happens to us, we can do it from this stability, accepting what is, to respond from the deep resources, the divinity of the divine gifts that we all already received. You are already pacified. In the depth of your being, peace is already present, already there. And it's accessible in this moment. Take a deep breath and be open to the invitation to just rest in your rootedness.